Hey guys, welcome back to One, a welcoming space where I'll be sitting with persons just like you and me, having discussions, sharing personal stories, and just holding a vibe. Let's see who we have this time.
Family, nothing to me like a family. Nothing to me like a family. Family, nothing to me like a family. What want everybody?
Now we are pick up the Atlanta crew. All the crew them, our
So, hi everyone. So, today I'm here with a father, my father, friend, a husband, entrepreneur, and much more. Mr. Mr. Irie? Let's go with that. Mr. Irie.
Yeah, man.
As he's known by many. Um, our Mr. Irie. Alright, so how are you doing today, Daddy?
Real good. Feeling real good today, you know?
Feeling real good?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Feeling real good today. Too bad today.
Okay. And how are you doing like in this general time period? Like not just today, just how are you feeling lately?
Well, as you know, sick and, you know, day by day change. Sometimes good, sometimes down, you know, but I have a spirit where I mean name Irie, so we keep it up, you know. Try to keep it best when we can do.
Okay. Alright. Doing a lot better than 2 years ago.
Yes.
Or even more than 2 years ago,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Alright, so let's talk about that. So in 2020, well, I guess that's when we found out. Um, in 2020, around March, right around the same time as Corona, when Corona hit the US, you were diagnosed with multiple myeloma. Let's talk a little bit about that and then how that came about. Um, can you remember the first time that you started feeling sick or feeling pain or anything like that that would lead to that?
Well, going to work sometime I feel like my foot them can't lift up too much and at one point now if I try use my hand to lift my foot up if me in the truck. The man used to run and jump off of the truck and they can't do that no more and like start feel weak my back, feel the pain in my back and all kind of different little things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So me have my deal, my yearly checkup when me always check. And remember one, me did just do the yearly checkup and the doctor say everything nice and me come home feel so good. Cause every time when me do my checkup, me always like me afraid. So one day if anything will happen. But me do the yearly checkup and me come home and get my result and everything is nice. And like a couple of weeks after that, me still not feel so nice. I feel the pain in my back and the foot and yeah. So I still I go back to him and I tell him that man feel this pain in my back. You know, really hard. And then say, well, no, me just do the daily checkup and everything nice, but anyway, him did see like something where him never did too like, but him never saw him now make me do a next blood test and thing, you know. So I got do the blood test and I guess him them call me and say the doctor want to talk to me. You know. The result come back and doctor want to talk to me and when we go there evening him see something where not look right. And him have to go discuss with him other doctor where they work together. So yeah, him will do that. So me him do it, and I think it was remember if it was the Saturday. Yeah, the Saturday evening we get a call, which unusual. Then call me and say, the doctor said we must check into the nearest hospital.
Alright, so let's stop there. So that was in 2020. But even before that, like in 2019, because you were having this pain from way back since 2019, and you do work in construction, you do lift a lot of stuff, you've fallen off trucks, concrete pumps, you had issues with that where they hit you off the truck and all kind of different things. So you've always had different issues and different pains in your back, in your arms, in your legs because of that, and had to go to the doctor previously because of that. And then in 2019, they sent you to do physical therapy because they just thought, okay, this is because of some of the things that you've been through at work or because of work. So you were doing physical therapy for a while in November of 2019, and all of that, all the way back to the, I think, end of 2019. And then even in January, you still weren't feeling better. You were getting worse. The pain was getting worse. To the point where you were like, okay, you have to take a break from work. And you told them that. So you were home for like a month or so, or a while. So like I was checking in on you every day, calling you on things. And other people were doing the same thing. And we noticed that you don't really sound the same. Like you'll miss some of the things that you were saying, or you'll say the same thing over and over and don't remember that you told us already. So we were thinking, okay, maybe it's because you're home alone and you're not used to being, first of all, you're not used to being at home. You're at work every day. You're used to being at work Monday through Saturday all the time. So you're not used to that. And then you're at home alone too, because Mummy was going to work and I wasn't there. So we were thinking, okay, maybe it's because he's alone and stuff. So we're calling you more, checking in on you more. But it seemed like it was getting worse. So that phone call that you were talking about was in March. But like, do you remember at the end of February, Mummy's sisters and some of your friends? Well, first of all, some of your friends are calling you and they hear that you sound away. Some of your family and my mom's family are calling you and they hear that you sound different. You don't sound like the regular Mr. Irie. So they decided, some of our family who was out of state, they decided to come and visit you. And then at the same time, we invited some of your friends from work and everything. So we had a little get together, which is not unusual for us. Like we do things like that at the house. So do you remember that? That day and how that was? Do you remember anything about that day?
Yeah, I remember the day when Omar, them and Larry and a couple guys come and we play domino, and White Man did come too. Couple people and that day, me not did even want to play no domino that day. We come in and left them outside and things like that, So,
And you were playing the music, but you weren't playing it as you usually would. And then even everyone inside dancing. You remember John, Darrell, Auntie Andrea, Auntie Winsome, everybody inside dancing and everything. And when you came in, you just came and sat in the couch. You just weren't you, like, at all. So after that weekend, we realized that something was really wrong, like, because you weren't you. But it was the Monday. Hold on. I think it was the Monday after that weekend. I think Mommy was gonna take you to the hospital anyways, or take you somewhere the Monday evening. But before she came from work, they called you. It wasn't. I don't think it was a Saturday. I think it was the Monday evening. But it was late. Like it was like they called you at 5 o'clock. And when you called us, we were like, okay, that sounds weird. Like, why would they tell you? I think you told us they told you to come to the regular doctor's office. And we were like, okay, if it's 5 o'clock or after 5, why would they tell you to come to the regular doctor's office? But you were kind of confused. You weren't sure what they said and stuff. We tried to call them. We didn't get any response because they were closed. And then you were saying maybe they're saying to go to the urgent care next to the doctor's office. So we weren't sure. So after work, Mommy came home and then I drove up there. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we we left out to go to where we left out to go initially because the doctor's office is obviously closed. We're thinking of going to the urgent care. Where we actually left out to go to the hospital. And on the way there, we realized that we didn't have all the medications that you were taking and stuff, just in case they asked us or anything. So we turned back. You remember that? And then you just you don't remember that? And then you decided, you were like, you don't want to go no more. You might as well. You want to just wait because if we go to the hospital, it'll be an all night thing. It was already because Mommy didn't leave work till like after 7 or something.
Yeah.
And by the time she drove home, now it was like after 8, after 9. So you were like, let's just wait and go tomorrow or whatever. So I drove back home, Mandale, that night, and then the morning, Mommy took you to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
You remember what the doctor said when y'all went to the doctor's office? No.
I don't remember directly, but you tell me,
Oh, so he was like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "You should be at the emergency room."
Yeah.
He was like surprised that you were still here. Why aren't you in the emergency room? Why aren't you at the hospital? Because I guess it was that urgent. But if it was that urgent, we just found it weird that he didn't call Mommy because Mommy's on there as your emergency contact. He had his phone number, and since he knows the symptoms, he probably would think that you would remember everything clearly to tell us clearly everything. But he didn't call Mommy. So, anyways, Mommy took you to the emergency room right after the doctor's office that morning. And I guess you did a whole lot of blood work and everything. Well, he wrote down what it was that he was concerned about before y'all went. So he wrote down what he thought it was. So I guess it was a lot easier when he went to the emergency room. So you did a whole lot of blood work. I was on the phone with Mommy all day, like keeping in touch with you. I remember when I came there the evening after work, I guess Mommy had to leave to go make you soup, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And the nurse was joking with you about that because she was taking long to go make the soup, like she was picking everything for the soup. But you were there all day, and in the night, I guess you thought you were gonna go home.
Yeah, I think they'll go home the evening, remember?
Yeah, and then when I came there, they told me, they were like, "Oh, he's gonna be going upstairs." And so when we come in our room, I was like, I told you that. I was like, they said you're gonna be moving soon. And you were like, what? Like, you think you'd ever go home? Because you had already gotten blood transfusion, like 2 bags or something. And I guess you had 1 more to get because you needed it that badly. So yeah, you stayed there that night. Me and Mommy go home. And so that's where it started. And I think that was March 6th. Thought I had it here. But you stayed in the hospital for like a week. But it was in between 2 hospitals. How was that whole experience with the hospitals and everything?
Man.
As far as you remember.
Man, me don't remember the first car. The night coming like me start forgot all of our going. I mean not even remember the place, how the place look. You know? But me remember when me go and some young nurse did it, you know, try to make fun with me and things like that, and I talk to them until me start forgetting, trust me, you know, I remember a lot of stuff, man. And remember, I can't remember the first hospital. I know they moved me from one to the other one, and this was like, next thing you know, me hook up with a whole heap of things, man. Whole heap of everything and what doctor me say, and yeah, that time I start to feel say, boy, something not really right, you know.
Yeah, so it was like a week, and then you stayed at the first hospital for like 2 nights. Yeah, you were really forgetting things. Like people called you, and you just the things that you were saying didn't make sense, or you kept repeating things. You remember thinking that you were in Jamaica, or some of the nurses?
Yeah, me remember one night me there at the hospital, and me sure said me there at Jamaica. Me sure me I see Ricky Jackson place. They coming like The nurse now, me sure said me hear them around there talk about some drugs. Like them a sell drugs or something like that, and the nurse come on and me know say Joanne come and me say Joanne and people there some drugs dealer them. Remember me say all that. When the man come, me have my phone and me can't find my phone. Me sure say the man take out my phone. the nurse.
Oh yeah, so one night, overnight, they called mommy. Well, you called her, I guess, overnight, saying somebody stole your phone.
Yeah.
But mommy actually took your phone because you didn't really need it. And because you were going from hospital to hospital, and it was just overnight because she was gonna be back there early in the morning. We were there every day. And then when mommy wasn't there, I came, and so we flip flop schedules just to make sure one of us was there with you all the time. And you remember Simone and Aunt Toots and everybody coming to visit
Simone
you.
them come and Conrad and Carol and remember one time them a whisper there, whisper me and say, what them people are with? Cause me see you say, Carol it carry food for me that night. Me think a soup in care for me I see like he whispered and Joanne whispered to him. So me a dinner and me a look, then carry me soup come or something with Carol carry.
So that was actually, I think that was the first time mommy actually told her what exactly you had, what you were diagnosed with. But I think it was John who brought food from Durham. But yeah, everybody came to visit you. Sanchez too. And then 7 days later, okay, well, you had to do a biopsy and everything like that. So a couple of days later, it was confirmed that it was multiple myeloma, a type of blood cancer that you had. And so then 7 days later, you went home. But from there, everything really started because, of course, you're now diagnosed and you have to start treatment. You actually started chemo in the hospital. And you met the doctor who was going to be treating you locally, but then you had to find, she was going to recommend you to a doctor to get treatment otherwise. And initially, they said you had to go out of state, like she was recommending you to a place out of state. I forgot the state, Utah or some state. But that was during COVID. COVID had just started and everything. So first we had to figure out insurance or how we were going to cover that, how we were going to get there and all of that. And then during COVID. But I forgot what happened with that it didn't work out. They submitted the information on everything, but that facility didn't work out. So it ended up going to Tampa, to Moffitt, which worked out for us. It wasn't out of state, even though it was a far drive. So it worked out a lot better. You remember the first time you had to go to Moffitt?
Yeah, first time I got John.
Yeah.
John carried me, yeah.
So it was me, you, and John. John drove.
Drive all the way, yeah. I couldn't drive again, man. Couldn't drive or nothing. So that day we go to Moffitt, boy, a long day, you know. Because you couldn't come in, nobody couldn't come in. They just push me in there and they so Mr. kind of start worry a while. Cause I don't remember nothing to tell them. All them ask me. You know, I always have to depend on you and Joanne to talk for me. So then start to question and the nurse ain't deal with me real good and then we get signed up with Moffitt up there, you know, so yeah.
So we had packed food, mommy jerk chicken and everything. We had a cooler and everything because we knew it was gonna be a long day. But on the website or on the papers, the information, it said one person was gonna be allowed in with you. So mommy had planned to go with you, and then me and John knew that we were just gonna have to sit out there and wait outside. But when we went, they were just like, no, just him.
Yeah.
and you were just looking confused. You were like, no, you didn't want to go. So we just had to pack up your papers and hand it over to you, and they put you in the wheelchair and just took you. And so it was just me, mommy, and John sitting in the car. Everybody who had a patient at Moffitt, family members had to sit outside in their vehicles. No one could go in. So it was just a long day for us just sitting outside. But what they did was call us on the phone and ask us any questions and information that they needed. So that was good that we could be on the phone with the doctor or the nurses to give them information. But yeah, and then from there, you had a couple trips to Moffitt, maybe 2 months later, and then a month later, and all of that. And then initially, someone came to the house to try to help you with physical therapy, kind of like moving again more often and everything like that, walking around, because it really affected your bones and everything. But that had to stop. Well, we stopped it because COVID was getting so bad, and we didn't want not random, but different nurses or persons coming to the house every other day or every week. All right. So from there, I mean, how do you feel now compared to that? Like,
After me do the bone marrow transplant, me feel alright, feel strong again, you know, me feel strong more and they go around really good and thing. But still, then we still come on with the pain again, and the pain in the back start worrying again, you know. So, I don't know, you know, cause then me I visit the doctor and I tell them all this pain, so them give me the oxycodone where me not really like do that. I'm scared of pill, oxycodone, I don't want to take it too much. But when we take it, it is a pain. But me not really like it, you know. So at one point I did change my chemo. Change the chemo and put me on a different chemo because they bumped me up here. They have bumps and things on the skin and change it and put me on the next one. And you know, I go on with the next one. Recently now, the doctor decides saying one because whenever you do a bone marrow transplant, he said that's the one he really recommend all the while and it work more. So they want to change it back, so now we change it back to that one. So I'm gonna see how we work out.
So I completely forgot to mention the bone marrow transplant, which was like a couple months later. So that was in March initially, and you had the bone marrow transplant in like October or the end of September.
Yeah, because at one point I need to go and then they have to put it off because the COVID did get real bad and they never want to take no chance with doing that. So I have to wait off again and give me next date until we go and finally do the bone marrow transplant.
And guys, depending on your insurance, dealing with insurance and different health issues can be challenging, to say the least. That was a time I had to be on the phone with insurance, with the different doctors, with the different hospitals. But we're just glad that he got the transplant done and everything went well with that. After the transplants and he went back for his visit, for his blood work and everything, they said the cancer was out of your blood, but was still in your areas of your bones or something, or flips. I'm not sure, or still in your bone, out of your bones, but still in different parts of your blood. No, I think it was the first one actually. So it helped, but there were still remnants of it in different places. So he's still supposed to stay on chemo, still doing his treatment, to show progress and hopefully get to a place where it's not there at all.
On a dry foot and back.
Alright, so let's talk a bit more about the process. Before the transplant, you had to prep for transplants. You know, mommy still had to be going to work, so we changed our schedules. Well, we adjusted our schedules to where she was with you during the week, Monday through Friday, and then she worked the whole weekend. So like from Friday night all the way back to Sunday night. And then I went home Monday mornings, and she came home. Well, I went to work, and then she came home Monday mornings, and she was with you throughout the week again. Unless she had to change her schedule, then we tried to adjust it again. But we tried to make sure someone was always with you, especially because you had to change your diet. We tried to change your diet to make sure you're eating the healthiest possible. And then especially as it came closer to your transplant, they actually gave you a menu of options and things that you should be eating and shouldn't be eating. So we tried to implement more of those things in your diet. So yeah, we were trying to be with you breakfast, lunch, and dinner to prepare for that. They had a little online orientation to prepare for transplant, because transplant wasn't just a day process. It was gonna be a whole 6 week process. And then even before the 6 weeks, you had to go there like 2 weeks before to prepare for that as well. You went back to Mafia like 3 times before that. And I came with you all those 3 times. Yeah, like you said, Dale drove one of the times. And I came with you for the 3 days. That was one of the prep that they had to do a lot of blood work and test your system and all of that.
They take like what, 18 backlog blood one time. Not only one time, just sit down and they dry them blood. So I asked the guy, how much you got? He said, it's 18, man. I said, what? He said, yeah, man, 18. So I said, how much is the most you ever draw from a person one time? He said, the most you can draw is 19. So I get 18 from. I have to just do what I have to do.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind that that facility, he's dealing with all cancer patients, different types of cancer.
And at the time, Joanne so them did not take so much blood from me that day, but nobody tell me, because me don't worry about that.
We knew they were probably gonna take a lot, but we probably didn't know the exact amount. But yeah, that was a part of the process. So there was those 3 days. Then we drove back home because it was an over 3 hour drive to get there. So we drove back home. For the transplant now, it was gonna be a 6 week, at least 6 week process is how they put it on paper. It could go to 7 weeks depending on how you respond to things and how the whole process itself went. So what we did was buy a whole lot of food and everything from home, everything. Packed them all up, brought pots, sheets, everything to make y'all comfortable. You had the option of staying in the hospital inpatient, and had one person with you. But we thought you would respond better to your food, your type of food, her cooking and everything like that, instead of the hospital. And then you would just be more comfortable. You all basically stayed at like an extended stay hotel. So you had your own space and made it your own for the 6-7 weeks. So that was a long process itself. So y'all packed up, and I didn't come with you that time. It was just you and mommy. So they gave us a schedule or a calendar of what your days would be expected to be like. And do you remember any of that? Like what time you had to get up, how many times you had to drive there?
We have to reach by 7 every morning.
Some mornings it was earlier, it was like 6.
6, Sometimes remember we have to reach at like 6 o'clock, sometimes 7. Every morning we have to go in and take blood first, and the nurse have to prick me first and check me, and the blood pressure, check my blood pressure and everything like that, and yeah, every morning, and my vitamin, yeah, I have to eat at least, I don't remember how much, but I have to take in that amount of vitamin for the day before I go to them. So we have to wake up early before and go and prepare that, and you know. So when the nurse check in, say, okay, Mr. Mary, you're doing good, you know, the vitamin right and everything like that. So yeah, especially vitamin, that's what them really, cause them tell you what to eat. Yeah, eat that every morning.
Yeah.
And I have to stay in the hospital for about couple hours
Yeah.
before me can leave again. Yeah.
And they inserted a port in your chest where you'd be, that stayed in your chest for the whole time, the whole couple weeks.
Yeah, but with the port really helped me good, because I get so much injection in my hand till they don't know how to put it again. So they have a port, so when they get the port in my neck, they use the port to do everything now, so it's easier for me. They don't worry joke me no more.
Okay. Oh, and so like while I was researching like the best things for you and how to help you and stuff, I got you a journal, because cancer isn't just physical. Like it has, you know, I feel like no illness is just physical. It'll take it'll affect you mentally, it'll affect you emotionally. So while I was researching, I found that cancer patients would have a journal to write out how they're going through, how they're feeling, or whatever, and that would help them. So I'm big on quotes, so I got a journal and I wrote different quotes for different days to like kind of help inspire him to help get him up and keep him up and everything like that. But when he went, they also gave him like a diary or journal, so like I was on the right track with that. They wanted him to journal how he was feeling as well, but they also wanted Mummy had to write down what exactly you ate in the day, how many ounces of water you drank, how many everything for the day. So I have that journal and I look back through it, and sometimes, you know, you'll write how you're in more pain today, you're looking forward to this today, you're looking forward to that today. So that's always nice to have.
Yeah, always have to write, and man, it's a challenge, cause sometimes I don't remember, and Joanna said, you know, write nothing in the book yet, Tisha, I'll kill you now. I said, what? Oh God, man, I have to go back over and think all what we do, what the nurse then do, and write it in. It was good, man. That is something nice, you know. Write how my day go, what me do today, and everything about me. Nice. Me have my book, me have it right now, so something me really looking back to every time me looking at it.
Do you feel like anything bigger than cancer, or not bigger, but do you feel like you're going through anything else now, or that going through that process with cancer led you to think more about life in any way, or what do you think about the whole process and how it affected you otherwise?
Yeah, man, because man, I never expect this, you know, my whole dream, you know. Cause me did dream so big, and say, you know, by 2020 what me want, and you know, and this thing just come on, man, just come, and you know, say hit me off of my foot clean, and but the whole thing is like, after when we finish with the cancer thing, and I think one of the best thing out of it where really helped me to is the therapy, the guy that you really get me to see every Wednesday. Every Tuesday I have a yoga where I look forward to. Every Wednesday I have this guy who mentally tests me. It's like a school, I go to school because I have my book, and him give me what I must. I have to do it what me think about life and everything in put me pan, and the man put so much in me, man, I don't remember nothing about cancer sometimes. So we look forward to that so much. Help me.
So now you're into yoga, you're into
Yeah.
therapy, not
Yeah.
just physical, but knowing that mental and everything else is important, just as important, or even more important at times.
Yeah, and in the yoga class, you have to really, because it was a Zoom class. So when you go to the class, they make you talk, and tell people what you go through and everything. That nice too, because other people tell you, and then you tell them and it make you feel good, because you're alone in this prayer. Yeah, so that really helped me good. Trust me.
And even though you can't do the yoga right now because you're in so much pain and it's advised not for you to do it because of how much your bones are affected like that and everything like that. You're gonna get back to it. But what else have I tried to get you to stay consistent with or try to change in your daily process since this? Since you mentioned those two.
That me must have a daily focus. And when we wake up, what me really hope find a life or everything like that. Just not get up and just must have a plan. So each morning if you have something me go through, and then I'll send me little things that when me read, about life. And that's another help too, So sometimes I find them and send them back to you and say, this is what I find this morning, this is what I do today. And nice.
And you have a whole planner that you can write down your appointments because you have so many. And what you need to take care of for the day and all of that.
So this thing means so much doctor when we go through. I cannot believe. So much doctor, so much different doctor, so much different tests.
Oh yeah, so even before the transplant, you had to be doing chemo like twice a week, locally. So you had to drive in to get chemo. But at first I was in your belly, right?
Yeah, they used to give me in my belly. Yeah, and then I give me in the hand.
To your arm.
Yeah.
And then that calmed down because that went on for a while, the 2 days a week to 1 day a week, which was good. And then now you still have to go in weekly, but you just have the pills. So, well, you have to go in weekly and you have the pills. So yeah, it's a process, definitely. But now you kind of understand. As of right now, it's just something that you have to live with and make it a part of your schedule, make it a part of your daily life. So you already talked about not expecting it, and it kind of came in and knocked you off your feet and everything. Help me not say this. Have you learned anything about work and like not focusing too much on work, but how has this affected your mindset about work?
Yeah, it killed my mindset power, cause me did have it in my mind personal say, I go back to work. Yeah, me did have cause me never ever think me could pass all while that bother my mind say, suppose me now work, what will happen? How me I go help? How I go on, Me always think that say, man, what if? And it happened when me see it in my own eyes say, me sick, lie down in the hospital and I think and I say, boy, I never know this would happen. But anyway, me feel like me I'll get over it and me I'll go back. But it not really work that way, man. Trust me, things happen sometime where you never did really looking for. And this is one of the things. Because I don't know where this come from. I never expect it. I never prepare for it. But God help me and we work through it. Now, biggest problem is I have really back pain killing me right now. So now I have to go start a different chapter right now. Again.
Alright, so yeah guys, I mean, if we could remember the details of the whole journey, but I guess that's what we can come up with or be able to tell to you right now. So that's his story when it comes to multiple myeloma, when it comes to cancer. As of now, I'm gonna put a link probably below, so you can find out more about multiple myeloma and also different resources and things like that. Just to inform you or for you to get information when it comes to that. And there will be a part 2 of sitting and talking with Daddy about different areas of his life previous to cancer. So thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for sitting with me.
Respect. All right.
All right.
Alright, come back soon, hello, Mr. Irie. What was that? I'll take a drink.